Hello, fellow Whovians. I am David Chapman. I'm going to be your host today for the Who Knew News. And we have got a bit of a doozy for you. Actually, we got two of them, or one and a half. Let's bring in the team here. We got Mackenzie Floor, our amazing, wonderful author. How you doing, Mackenzie?
Well, it's been a chaotic day. Yeah.
That's about right. And below me, Dr. Freedom. How are things over there?
I had just come out of an eye appointment where I had my eyes dilated, and I thought, oh, God, what did they put in them drops?
Brilliant. So, for those who are watching who are not aware of what's going on, it was announced and fairly officially the departure of Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall coming up. And we're going to talk about that in a second, because one of the other announcements that was made this morning, and there is no way that this is coincidental, and this is my thing, is, of course, the Doctor Who role-playing game. They've just announced the second edition of that. Now, they did previously have what some people had called the fourth edition, and this is just a fourth iteration of the same rulebook, themed to, the 12th Doctor. They have a separate source book for the 12th Doctor. I am not expecting to see this until well after Jodie's departure. However, the new rulebook is available already in PDF, which means they've got it done. The time frame between these two in digital and physical was about a year. I hope it will not be that long for this. But I'm just going to bring that up because I got it here. And some really fun, beautiful artwork there. Is it okay? Is it jumping? Yes, it is a little bit. That's okay. You can already order the PDF through the Cubicle Games, cubicle7games.com web store, or Drive-Thru RPG. Some nice pictures. Blah, blah, blah. I'll put the link somewhere. And they do have a collector's edition that will only be in the hardcover. And that's kind of neat. It's a fold-out TARDIS slipcover. So I kind of like the just the basic myself. But I will be looking into that myself very soon. Take that out. But for now, let's talk about Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall leaving in 2022. Mackenzie, tell us what you've seen and what you've heard here.
Oh gosh. Well, it started in the evening for those in the UK. So I heard a lot of complaints saying, why are they doing it now? And then I heard people in America, why are they doing it in the middle of the day when it's work, blah, 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 blah. So that was kind of how it started off. But it's been kind of a mixed viewing is what I've been hearing. Some people are excited to knowing where the future of Doctor Who is. Other people like me, I'm thinking, well, what's the point of watching season 13 now? I mean, we're losing the Doctor, so of course I'm going to watch it, but that was my initial reaction. And then you've got those who are thinking that the 14th Doctor's already been possibly already, this was a leak, someone leaked it, and that we're going to get more news as the week goes on. So it's kind of like a mix, depends on which way you decide to go with it.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting no matter what happens. Dr. Freedom, what all have you seen? You're the guy that sees everything. Especially today because your eyes are all extra.
Yeah, it was funny. I'm like, what are they putting those drops? I'm like, oh my. But yeah, especially the fact that it's so close after the SDCC thing. I was like, well, if this was going to happen anyway, why didn't they announce it then? You've got worldwide attention right there. The SDC virtual panel. Why did you wait till like how many days after? So it's kind of surprising, that they did, or also the fact that, as Mackenzie said, I'm shocked they're announcing it this early. You don't want to, go, okay, guys, well, spoiler alert, but, Jodie's regenerating in 2022. But at the same time, 3 years and out, it's been kind of a standard thing. It's been known as the Patrick Troughton rule of three, ever since he started it way back in '69. And but 3 years and out for a showrunner, from what I've been hearing, and like I said, please put this as rumor as that you want, Chibnall's been wanting out for a while. They literally had to talk him to get doing the job in the first place. So the fact he's come out and said, well, yeah, we both kind of agreed to 3 years and out. In that case, not surprising, but this is the first time we've had a showrunner check out, along with the Doctor, because RTD even hung around through David Tennant. And of course, we had Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi under Stephen Moffat. So this is going to be first time we've had a showrunner check out with one Doctor. So kind of weird, ain't it? But at the same time, whomever's going to take over this show, you have my prayers.
Definitely. And and they aren't quite doing a 3 and out. Because I mean, they there was that quote out there that the two have made a little 3 and out pact, but it's kind of like 3.5 because they're doing that series and then they're doing, I think it was 6 specials or something. They're basically doing almost an entire season. So 13.5.
Yeah, and that was a rumor that was going on for, I can think of, for at least 3-4 months, that there was discussion that it was going to be a half season and then that the show was going to take like a hiatus. And then, then today there was an article, and I don't know what website it was. It was a quote from somebody that said, no, we're not going to be delaying it. We're going to have a new showrunner. We're going to have a new Doctor. They're just going to take over at that point. But it just seems a little bit weird that this would all happen before the 60th anniversary. I mean, I got to agree with Dr. Freedom. Whoever's coming in, good luck to you, because, I mean, you got the 60th anniversary. That's something really big that whoever is going to take over as Doctor is going to have to hold on his or her shoulders.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's been a rumor for a while that this is going to happen, but this is like, here's the BBC. This is straight from the horse's mouth, if you will. All of this. So sorry, I interrupted you there. Go ahead there, Dr. Freedom.
Well, here's the alarming thing though. With Chibnall checking out in 2022, what does that mean for 2023, which is going to be the 60th anniversary year of Doctor Who? Whoever is going to take over this show, if they take it over in time to even plan for a season in 2023, now that person has the additional burden of possibly doing a 60th anniversary special. So, no pressure, but,
Yeah. And do you think that could be part of why they're doing so many specials? Because that's certainly plausible. If they're, okay, great, we've got these other specials, that's a whole side gig almost of Doctor Who, where they can have 14 coming in, they can be filming, they can be planning with whoever this new showrunner is, and start developing that even as this is all going on, because this is not technically a season.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry. We do. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
We do know they're filming. Yeah, a couple of the at least 2 of the specials are being filmed right now. So I wouldn't be at least bit surprised if that's why it's been taking so long doing Series 13, is they may go ahead and just film everything all at once while they got everybody already sequestered because of COVID. So there could be a lot of this stuff's going to be in the can well before 2022. So
yeah, that makes a certain amount of sense. I saw somewhere, again, there's been so many articles and most of them have most of the same information, that the last of those, like they had a couple of specials planned and then they like added 2 more or something in at the very end, just as they were kind of like negotiating that out. I just can't find that anywhere. Of course I can't find that anywhere. Heaven forbid that when we're live, we should be able to find that information. Yeah, and it's also interesting because they have been doing a lot of a lot of extra hype for Jodie, and this, I think that she was recently voted, Radio Times had her the 2nd most popular Doctor ever after David Tennant, barely after David Tennant, which I think is a completely legitimate thing. I can't help wonder if she wouldn't also be about that same spot on the other end of the poll. So she has been very controversial. And I think she's done personally, I think she's done an amazing job. The writing has been less than she deserved. But there have been some really great stuff. So it's, do we think people are going to be more excited or less excited about Series 13 in these specials, knowing this?
it's just my own personal feeling. I don't think people are going to be that excited now. It's just like, oh, well, we're going to lose a doctor. So kind of like, why invest in that? So just the feeling that I have, I don't think the ratings are going to be that great because everyone knows, well, there's going to be this, unless you're like a very dedicated Doctor Who fan, that regardless, you're going to watch it. But otherwise, just the casual viewer, it just seems, I'll just wait until the next Doctor then. There's really no point for me getting invested in. I can see that. I honestly am more excited about her going to Big Finish because it's like,
yes,
I know that's where she is going to shine because there is multiple issues with the writing, and I agree with you. It has been subpar. And a lot of it has to do with the framework. I honestly was really excited about Series 13 because they were going to do episodes, which is actually one of the newest. Well, I can't say it's really new because it's been around for a couple of years, but there's called the BW framework, and that is literally the screenwriter follows it to create something that's binge worthy and that you want to keep watching, and it has that cliffhanger, and it has the intrigue, it has that mystery, and it keeps you sucked in. So I was excited. I'm like, oh, this might be, Chibnall's part of finally getting back to good writing, getting Jodie finally getting what she's supposed to do, which she might. She still might get something that is going to be exciting there. We can't disregard that, but it's just like, the excitement that I had after San Diego Comic-Con, I want to be honest, it's kind of fizzled.
Your thoughts there, Brian?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping if they were going to make an announcement of this caliber, they would have waited till at least Series 13 aired. That way, it builds up the anticipation even more and more when, you really don't know what's going on. But at the same time, they're going to be doing something which I don't think they've done since Trial of a Time Lord, where you're going to have an entire series of episodes forming into one big story. So that right there is, pretty phenomenal in itself. So it's still going to make me want to watch to see what are they going to do that's going to take up, 6 whole episodes, and tie them together at the end. So, But also at the same time, I was really excited to find out, originally they were only going to give you 2 specials. And then the BBC requested another one.
Right.
So it's not too bad because you're going to be getting one on New Year's Day, 2022. You're going to get another one in the spring. And then in the fall, you're going to get the third and final one that's going to go along with the BBC Centennial. So it's not going to be too bad overall. But like I said, I'm still kind of heartbroken, but at the same time, 3 years and out, it's kind of a standard thing, as I said before. So I was kind of expecting Jodie sooner or later would announce she's leaving.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, I think one of the people later down the line are going to realize she's underrated. Same as they did with Colin Baker. A lot of people were rating Colin Baker all the way down, but then when he came back in Big Finish, he's a god on Big Finish.
Yes,
he's incredible. So
yes, he is.
We never know. She may surprise us on Big Finish once you get some better stories.
Or not surprise us, depending on who you are, for sure. It was definitely surprising. I agree. I am super duper excited for Big Finish. When we spoke to Sophie Aldred about At Childhood's End, that she has a couple of things that she wrote that Big Finish are working on. Not all of them Doctor Who, but I think she did not deny that book was kind of being looked at. Like she didn't flat out say, yeah, it's coming. But she certainly didn't deny it, and that would be stellar. I think all of us agreed that Sophie wrote Jodie's Doctor better than any of the TV Doctors have.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That was one thing. I could hear the voice. Now, I didn't listen to it on the audio, though I have heard that on the audio version, she sounds a lot like Jodie. So if those who haven't heard it, then definitely go back to that audio. But I had just read it, and I was like, wow, I'm intrigued. Ace was my favorite companion. So I had that from the classic series. I loved getting that connection with 13. I felt it fit. It made sense. And then just where they were going with it, but that was all before all this stuff happened with Jack, with Captain Jack. Who knows what's going to happen with Torchwood and all those other things now?
Yeah, I honestly believe that's going to not necessarily blow over, but it's something that is far enough out, and he has apologized up, down, and sideways for it years ago. But I have not heard any accounts that he has done anything similar to, those on-set shenanigans in the years since. So I think John Barrowman will be fine. I think Captain Jack will be back. I have no doubt.
Yeah, John Barrowman can bounce back from just about anything.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal guy, very intelligent. Like I said, I only got to talk to him the once. We talked for about 5 minutes, and like I said, I think he can survive this. It ain't gonna hurt.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. He'll be perfectly fine. He's just a cool guy. I mean, it's like one of my favorite stories I like telling is how you go to a Comic-Con, he'll say, I'll do whatever you want as long as it's not something that is inappropriate or something that you don't feel comfortable with. So I literally said, "Will you spank me?"
Yeah.
He did.
I just want to make a side note. I always have felt so bad for Sophie Aldred. She's been so cheated. She was supposed to be in Series 5 of the Sarah Jane Adventures, and sadly Liz Sladen passed away. Then we just found out she was supposed to be in Series 2 of Class as a regular.
Yeah.
And then that got canceled. So it's like, I was always hoping they'd bring her back on the show in some way or capacity, because I think her and 13 would have been phenomenal together on screen.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, we don't know what these specials are yet. It could happen. She's got an amazing, story that has carried through in a very weird evolution, despite not getting to actually appear very often.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be great. We'll just kind of quickly blow through a couple more. Backed up. Dr. Fiva, evening all. Oh, look, that was not me talking. Gee. Hi, Christian.
Yeah.
Christian Basil chiming in from the Peanut Gallery, as he tends to. He just wasn't available to host, so. And of course, he is reminding everyone that you should subscribe, ring that notification bell, because the Who Knew News isn't exclusive to our YouTube channel. I'm not going to bother bringing it up. Sorry, Christian. What's the minimum time for a doctor to come back and play their character on Big Finish?
That's a good question. I think we've asked Nick that question before, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
I think they try to stay at least one series behind whoever the current doctor is, if I remember right. But that was a while ago. That's why I interviewed Lisa Bowerman about it, but it was like 3 years ago. I think she mentioned something about that, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, part of that is going to just be a matter of, I think, what else is happening in both of those worlds, because it does take a certain amount of turnaround even for all of that, so...
Right, exactly. And I know, like, the annual short trip competition that always goes on around, it's usually June-ish is when it is. And some people have already wondered whether or not that Jodie's character will be available for that. And Yaz and Dan and everybody else from Series 11 through 13, but until that license gets transferred over. I was actually surprised. I actually at first always thought that Big Finish had the license at the same time as the BBC did, and I was like, nope, that's not the case at all. So I found that very, very intriguing.
No, and Steve, it's not so much that there's a minimum time. Like, it's not that they don't want her, because everybody has said, "Oh, dear goodness, yes, we want Capaldi, we want Jodie." It's just a matter of, is there a contract in place? Is there material, and can they give her enough money compared to someone else? I mean,
I look at it this way. I tell everybody that the fact they got Eccleston, who wanted nothing to do with Doctor Who after his experience, the fact that shows anything's possible at this point. If they got the way they got Eccleston, that means everything else is going to be pretty much a cakewalk after that. So I can see Capaldi eventually, when he wants to, because he's been busy, doing movies. He's been Suicide Squad. Plus, he's working on his music right now. Yeah. Apparently, he has an album coming out. So
coming out soon. We talked about that previously. I just can't remember when it is coming out. But soon, yes.
Yeah, November.
Yeah, there we go. So right there, and just we'll more on the Barrowman, and because of course he did. Dr. Fivo doesn't really think they'll be rushing to have her. Christian, and I agree, definitely thinks they will. I agree. There's no doubt they want everybody as soon as they possibly can, I think.
Yeah.
At this point, because it's like printing money. And especially with the new release schedule they've got going. Actually, it'll be a little bit interesting with her, because they've kind of set it out. They've said they're going to do one box set per Doctor per year. And she's the 13th Doctor. So
yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah, it's going to throw things up. Yeah.
And it's not like when they do these box sets, like with Eccleston, where we just had the second box set will be coming out. I think it's next month. They'll be coming out. They actually they record all those all at the same time. So it could be they record things years in advance. So even knowing we may not see Jodie on Big Finish in a physical form for a couple of years, they could already have it recorded by the time Series 13 airs. It's very possible.
It's true. All right. Well, we are going to be talking about this even more on Tuesday. So if you are watching now, and there's quite a few people watching and commenting, please, if you haven't subscribe. Check back. We are going to be live this coming Tuesday talking about all of this. I was hoping to have our thumbnail up, so we don't. But who said goodbye? And who says hello? Hello, hello. And is going to be the theme. So we will find out. We're working on that as we speak. Christian is off working on that on his own. So we will see you all back here in a couple of days. Mackenzie, any last thoughts on this?
Stay tuned. This is about to be a wild ride. But there was a word I wanted to use that Chibnall used, and I cannot remember it now. But that's the word I wanted to use. I'll remember it after the show, because that's always what happens to me.
This is totally fair. Ryan, anything from you?
All I can say, folks, get ready to get on the rocket, because the fan speculation is going to go haywire on both fronts. You know, who's going to be crazy enough to take on this show? Who's going to want to be the next one to take on the mantle after Jodie? Because you know what's going to be funny? Whoever has to show up in that outfit when she regenerates.
Oh.
Especially, the knee pants. Imagine if you get like a 6-foot tall doctor to replace her. It's going to be like above his knees, the trousers.
So there's been the constant Idris Elba. So big, giant, jacked man.
Okay, we definitely need a dialogue change. I mean,
if we're going to do that, I would say bring in a gay doctor, because that would just to put on that whole stereotype.
Yeah, the shirt's going to be riding halfway up. You're going to have a bare midriff going on, and then
I can almost see somebody and they should just do it as a bonus thing. Do the regeneration, but shoot a bonus scene of the Incredible Hulk version. Oh my god, I want to see that so bad now. All right, so okay, we're gonna let Christian have the okay. Well, we'll throw this in here because I can see him in that outfit.
Yeah,
but we'll give Christian the second last word. Yeah. But yes, we will be back on Tuesday. Mackenzie, did you think of that word?
Nope.
All right.
Yes, I know that much.
That's okay. It happens. So, folks, thank you very much for joining us on this little bit of insanity, and we will see you again on Tuesday.